What's good, YouTube? Recently, I was watching an interview on LeBron James' show, The Shop, which featured Rick Ross and Gunna, and Gunna shared his view of record labels here in 2022. And for music artists or people that are interested in music business itself, I thought it would be great information for everyone to hear. So with that being said, I'm going to let the clip run, and then we're going to break it down.
Some people be like, well, fuck the labels, we don't need labels. But you can't, these like really business partners, how I look at it. Like, you shouldn't say fuck the label because they taking the chance on you. When they give you money, they taking the risk too. It's up to you to really make this money back and go make more money. And like, for like all like young artists who coming up, like I want to tell them just like, man, don't look at it as like it's a bad deal. You're not getting what you want in the beginning because it can always get better. I'm a contract killer. I call it like contract killer. Like you give me the contract, I'm gonna kill it.
That's your point.
And I'm gonna get another, and then another contract. It's my terms and conditions now.
All right, so as we can tell, Gunna seems to have a pretty positive view of record labels themselves. And this mainly is, the case in artists where they make their money back for the label, right? So the way a record label is really going to work is they're going to have an artist and they're going to pay that artist in advance. And that advance is recoupable, meaning that the artist themselves is not in debt, but they're never going to make a royalty on the music itself until the money is made back to the label. So for example, right, say that YSL or Universal Music Group gives Gunna $500,000 for 2 albums. And they pay that in advance, right? So those costs are going to go towards studio time. They're going to go towards Gunna's living expenses, his travel, everything. And when he releases the music and they make money back on digital downloads and streaming, once Gunna makes $500,000 back to the label, then he'll get a royalty on the music itself. So the first takeaway I want everyone to understand is that a record label is taking a risk on an artist. They are fronting money to this artist in hopes that this artist will be able to make money back in the long term. The sad reality is most artists do not make money back in the long term. They don't end up being a profitable equation. Whether an artist ends up being profitable or not is up to the artist themselves. What the record label is going to do is give money to that artist and use their resources to be able to get reach on that artist's product, aka the music. But whether the product or the music hits with people is up to the artist themselves. Now, the first deal that an artist gets when they first sign to a label is all dependent on the fan base that they're sitting on, right? So it's how much leverage that you have going into the label. So for example, if you're like an example like Big Sean. Big Sean rapped for Kanye West at a radio station in Detroit when he had no fan base and he barely had music out. So when Kanye signed him, he gave him an advance of $15,000, which is not a lot of money at all. And I'm sure the terms and conditions were not very great. As opposed to someone like 21 Savage, 21 Savage already had a platinum album, multiple platinum records by the time that he signed with Republic Records. And so 21 Savage, he owns 70% of his master recordings. So you're looking at 2 completely different scenarios. So the leverage and the fan base that you're sitting on at the time of your deal will determine what kind of deal you're going to get and how big of an advance that you're going to get. Now, when an artist signs a label, it's going to vary based on the fan bases that they're sitting on, what kind of deal that they're going to get. But the biggest thing I want everyone to take away from this is when Gunna calls himself a contract killer, right? So his first contract, he didn't get a contract that was all in his terms and in his favor. But what he did is he fulfilled his contract and his product really worked. So the next time it came to negotiating his next albums, he had leverage over the label to say, hey, I need more money. I want a better split. I need better terms and conditions. And continuing to refine his approach in that way to where every single album he releases, he goes up another level and he can negotiate a better contract every time. Now, for all the music artists that are listening to this, I want you guys to take away 2 things, right? So number 1, is you should not be seeking a deal from a major label or let someone front money on you unless you understand your equation itself. You need to work on building your fan base independently. If you don't have a fan base, if you let someone front money and build a fan base for you, you lose all the leverage of your entire career. You'll never be able to get to where you want to be. And second thing for all music artists is that you need to understand music business. If you're going to get into business with these people that know more about the music industry than you do, you need to be on point. You need to understand what it is that you're negotiating so that you don't end up in an unfavorable situation. If someone negotiates better than you do, you can't blame that man. You need to understand what an advance means for an equation, what royalty rates are, what publishing is, and there's so much to this music game, but if you're not sharp with your business, you're going to get taken advantage of and you're never going to get to feel your full potential, which is the greatest thing ever. What do you guys think of Gunna's take on record labels in 2022? Let's discuss in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.